I should start by saying that I'm a fan of James Gunn's movies. Super and Slither were really inventive B-movies, and the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy showed that he could manage big-budget blockbusters, full of humour and memorable characters. And now he's stepped up to the big leagues with the new Superman movie. And it's no surprise to say that I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but it's the best Superman film we've had in a long time. And it gets the new wave of DC movies off to a strong start. James Gunn has stated that he's sick of seeing the same superhero origin stories over and over again, which is fair enough, but this goes to the opposite extreme and plunges you right into the middle of the action. The opening scene is actually the one in the first trailer, with Superman starting out lying bloody in the snow and Krypto coming along and saving him. It's a weird way to kick off a whole new universe, and it feels like you're reading a comic that's halfway through a story arc. You do eventually catch up to what's going on, but it does take a while. The biggest problem is that we never actually see the inciting incident of the whole story. We just hear about how Superman stopped one fictional country invading another by destroying all their tanks and weapons, which calls into question his impartiality and makes him a controversial figure with the public. It's a moral dilemma that hangs over most of the film, but you can't help thinking it would have had more resonance if we'd seen him do it in the first place. Of course, it soon turns out that Lex Luthor is the brains behind the campaign to turn the public against Superman, as well as sending his soldiers in to fight him and piloting them by remote control. Nicholas Hoult is a fantastic version of Lex, really intelligent but utterly sociopathic, and willing to go to any lengths to bring down Superman. It's probably one of the best versions of the character we've ever seen. Certainly much more threatening than Jesse Eisenberg's version. He doesn't have the humorous side that Gene Hackman's Luthor did, but there's more than enough of that in the rest of the movie. David Coronswet plays Superman as being a lot more vulnerable than we usually see the character. He's weakened to start with and depowered for large chunks of the movie, so when he finally gets back to full power at the end, it feels like he's earned it. You can relate to the character a lot more when he's not completely invulnerable and all-powerful. Sadly, we don't get to see his version of Clark Kent too much. He's only in a couple of scenes. I would have liked to see more of that side of the character, but I guess there wasn't room. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is also strong casting, very much following in Margot Kidder's footsteps, but bringing the character up to date. Sadly, we don't get to see her doing too much investigating. I would have liked to see more of that. Her relationship with Superman is already well established at the start of the movie, so they skipped over all the fun parts where she finds out his secret identity, which feels like a missed opportunity to me. They have a strong chemistry, but their relationship is just kind of there. It feels like they could have done a bit more with it. Skyler Gisondo as Jimmy Olsen is also a highlight. He has his own little storyline, and if anything does more than Lois to figure out Lex's evil plan. There's rumours he might be getting his own spin-off series, and I certainly wouldn't mind seeing that. This movie stands out from the other versions of Superman, because he's not the first hero in this universe. There's already loads of them. We don't see Batman, but Gotham City is mentioned, so it's only a matter of time. Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern is as brash and arrogant as his comics counterpart. He has a lot of fun with the character, and his powers work really well, certainly an improvement on the last Green Lantern movie. There's also Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. He's much better than the version of the character in Arrow. He's very competent and uses his T-spheres in lots of fun ways. There's also Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl, who doesn't have that much screen time, but there is one memorable scene where she dispatches one of the villains. None of these characters have origin stories. They're just thrown in there as an established part of this world. Fans of the comics will have no problem dealing with this sort of thing, but a bit more backstory might have been useful to introduce them to a general audience. On the villain side, we have Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer from the Authority. In this version, the character is evil for some reason, but her nanotech powers do make her a formidable opponent. There is also Ultraman, who is remote controlled by Lex Luthor for most of it, but in the end he turns out to be another long-time Superman villain, so I won't spoil it by saying which one. In keeping with the whole comic book feel of this world, there's a lot of casual SF concept just dropped in there. The main one is the Pocket Universe, created by Lex to imprison his enemies. It's a really unique visual world. The first time you see it, you don't know if it's an alien planet or if you're under the sea, and it gives the movie the same kind of cosmic feel as the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And there are some beautiful scenes showing off the weirdness of the real world, such as the one where Superman and Lois are talking in her apartment, while the Justice Gang silently battles an alien monster in the sky behind them. It's like the perfect illustration of this crazy world where this sort of thing could happen all the time. Plus we've also got Krypto the Superdog. It's a really cheesy concept, but the dog has lots of personality and is barely trained, so it's always fun to have him around. I don't know if it's a CGI creation or a real dog, but it's definitely a highlight. On the soundtrack, James Gunn continues his love of having fight scenes with incongruous pop songs in the background. Mr. Terrific has a really cool one-shot fight scene to the soundtrack of Noah and the Whales, 5 Years' Time. And there's also a version of Morecambe and Wise's signature song, Bring Me Sunshine, which I was not expecting. It feels a bit out of place in this kind of movie. There's maybe a little too much humorous banter as well. It works in Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, but for something like Superman, they really should have turned it down a bit. The John Williams theme is used several times as well. It's really the iconic Superman music, so I can't really blame them for using it. Overall, this is probably my favourite Superman movie since the first two. It takes a while to get into the swing of it, but the three leads are perfectly cast, and it's full of my kind of SF weirdness. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing the Supergirl movie next year. The brief taste we got of it here suggests it's going to be something very different. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my reviews. My next film review will be Fantastic Four. Will it be better than this one? I look forward to finding out. See you next time.